Welcome, third graders. Here we are. It's lesson 7.6. Are you ready to rock? Could a person eat 3/2 of a pizza? What do you think? I know you might not know, but could a person do that? All right, we are going to find out today. We are going to be talking about, look at this objective down here. This says, I will be able to identify fractions greater than, less than, and equal to 1 on a number line. And actually, we're going to throw in some fractions that are worth more than 1, which is not quite our third grade skill, but you know what? Sometimes it's good to challenge ourselves and, learn something that's a little more complex. So, we are going to start with this math message. Now, if you want to get out fraction circles, or if you want to go to Everyday Math Online to do this, you can. I'm going to put them up here, though, also, so that we can kind of talk about this. What we want to do here is to work with a partner. Oh, I'm your partner. The red fraction circle piece represents one whole apple. Hey, look at that. It's red, just like an apple. Use the pink fraction circle piece to show 1/2 of an apple, 2/2 of an apple, and 3/2 of an apple. Be ready to show what you did. So let's look at just 1/2 of an apple. There it is, right? Can I move it? Oh, good, I can. And boom, right? 1/2 of an apple. We've been working on, fractions. We got 1 out of 2 pieces, and they're equal sizes. Well, at least they should be. They're supposed to be. Let me make it a little more so it's exactly equal, because fractions have to be equal sized pieces. All right, easy enough. So I did 1/2 of an apple. What about 2/2 of an apple? Well, that's just 2 of those pink pieces. What? Oh, I'm going to have to make this one bigger too. 1/2, 2/2. So, a little bigger here. 2/2 is equal to the whole thing, right? So when we write this right here, it equals 1. Or sometimes people will put 1 whole here. Let's see if you can explain it. Imagine that somebody hadn't watched this video. How would you explain to them? How would you explain that 2/2 equals 1 whole? Yeah, it covers up the whole thing, doesn't it? Here's one of them. You could even show them a picture. One of them, 2 of them. All right. So we did 2/2 of an apple. And now 3/2. Well, let me ask you, what do you think 3/2 is going to look like? There's going to be extra, isn't there? Here they are. Here's 3/2. 1, 2, and 3. All right. So we have 1 whole and then an extra half. So this is 3/2. And just for fun, watch this. What if I had 4/2? Here, I can get another half here. I have 4/2. Look at this. How many whole pizzas do I have now? 2 of them, right? I have 2 whole pizzas now. So 4/2 is 2 wholes. We're going to see that here on number lines next. So I need you to open in your math journal to Math Journal page 232. Math Journal page 232. So we're going to review what we did yesterday first. This is going to look, it's going to look exactly like what we did yesterday. So we have a number line. I noticed that this number line starts at 0 and ends at 1. So it's just like if we had a whole circle, right? So just reviewing here. Now, my number line is broken into some pieces. To count those pieces, I am going to do the jumps. Remember the jumps? 1, 2, 3. So this is broken into 3 jumps. Now, if we had our pizza here, if we broke that into 3 parts, we would draw it like that. Now, if we have none shaded in, well, this would be none out of 3, 0/3. And if you have none, if you started on this number line and haven't made any jumps, you have 0 out of 3. 0/3 is how you would say that. All right, let's color this in here. And we're going to make one jump. What goes here? 1/3. And what goes here? 2/3. And then 3/3. 3/3. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, right? On the bottom, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. So I have jumps from 0/3 to 1/3 to 2/3 to 3/3. All right. You're like, Mr. White, we did all that yesterday. Yes, we did. But now let's think about this. Here is number line B. Let me make it bigger here for us. What you can see, I want you to look at number line B and number line A. And I want you to tell me, let's start with one thing. We're going to do some comparing and contrasting here. What is one thing that is the same about these two number lines? All right, they both start at 0. They both are broken into parts. They both have these little hash marks here that split them up. They both have a 1 on them. But now what I want us to do, because there's something that is very different. In fact, there's two things. There's something that's different. Tell me one thing that's different between number line A and number line B. Okay, they are broken into different amount of pieces. What I want you to really key in on here is look at this. This number line goes up to 2. Okay, this one only went up to 1. And that is such an important difference. Because look, when we were going from 0 to 1, we did our jumps. 1, 2, 3, and we stopped at 1. To figure out this number line, we also have to do our jumps, but we have to stop not at 2. We have to stop at 1. When you're doing jumps, you stop at 1 whole because we need to know how much that one pizza is divided into. Or in this case, this one part of the number line. So watch. 1, 2, stop. Why did I stop? I stopped because I got to 1 whole. When you get to the 1, stop doing jumps. Okay? Because we're only figuring out how much one of these, how many parts 1 is divided into. So how many jumps did I do? 1, 2. So I know that this is going to be counting by halves. The denominator is going to be 2. 0 halves. 1 half. What goes here? 2 halves, right? 2 halves is equal to 1 whole. We saw that on our math message problem. Here's 3 halves. And here's 4 halves. Now, what I'll tell you about these fractions, they look weird, don't they? They look weird. They have the bigger number on the top. They're called improper fractions. Now, if you remember, we've talked a lot about prefixes and suffixes, haven't we? Improper fractions, im means not, right? Like if you're impatient, it means you're not patient. Improper means not proper. So they're flipped around. They look upside down, but they mean, right? They mean more than 1. 3 halves is more than 1. 4 halves is more than 1. All right, so key ideas here. What's something that you saw Mr. White do or that we kind of did here together that seems important? All right, I'm betting some folks thought, stop jumping at 1. Yes. Improper fractions, you might have thought about that also. All right. So let's see, we did that one already. Here's number line C. Watch me, watch me, watch me. You're doing the last one, but watch me. Jump, 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 stop. I stopped at the 1, didn't I? And now I count my jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is counting by fourths. 0 fourths, 1 fourth, 2 fourths, 3 fourths, 4 fourths, and now the improper fractions. I just keep going. 5 fourths, 6 fourths, 7 fourths, 8 fourths. And one little fun trick here, 8 divided by 4, right, is 2. Just a little trick there. Okay, so I stopped when I got to 1. You do number line D. Go ahead. All right, now, if you did this, watch, this is wrong. Jump, 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 jump. That is not correct, right? You can't just keep jumping forever. You can't do this. This is wrong too. Why is that wrong? Because they kept jumping past the 1. You have to stop jumping at the 1. 1, 2, 3 jumps. You should have written 0 thirds, 1 third, 2 thirds, and then you know what the rest of them would be. Finish writing them or fix them if you didn't do it correctly. All right, so what do we see here? Our goal, right, is to be able to identify fractions greater than, less than, and equal to 1 on a number line. And actually, we're doing a little bit of fractions that are worth more than 1. Your math journal page. It is page 233. And you can see, let's zoom in on it a little bit. You're going to be practicing this skill, okay? Look at this. Don't jump all the way to this 2. You know what to do now, don't you? And then you're going to fill in the fractions. So there's that one and that one. And down here says to circle all the fractions greater than 1. And then you're going to read this question and answer. Use a complete sentence, right? Use a piece of this question. What do you notice about fractions greater than 1? So you should say, I noticed that fractions greater than 1, and then keep going, right? Finish your answer. All right, third graders, that is all. If you need any help with jumps or improper fractions or number lines, reach out and let me know. And good luck.